And welcome back to another special edition of the Work Shoot Alliance. I'm Randy.
I'm Jim.
And David.
How you feeling?
Great.
If you didn't see it, yesterday Doof paid up his punishment for the NXT TakeOver Portland pay-per-view, where he got to eat a special donut. It looked lovely. Again, if you haven't seen it, it is on the channel. Go check that out. But now it is time to set up another punishment, as AEW has a pay-per-view. Again, it is called
AEW Revolution.
This is our AEW guy. I have to keep going to him. And by the way, you're making your prediction first every time.
That's
and
fine
then...
by me. they can copy the homework.
Yes, I might have to. For me, I watch it off and on. I try to watch highlights on YouTube and stuff. I'm not against AEW. I think their product is decent enough, especially for a startup brand. They're doing a pretty good job. I know one storyline we'll get to, I think, is one of the better storylines I've seen in a while. So I give them full credit. I'm not against AEW or anything. But I think Doof will agree with me. Wrestling's wrestling.
Yeah.
If it's good, I'm happy for it. I'm not against a brand.
Yeah, I'm kind of a snob because I like the Elite a lot before they did AEW. And it's like they are WWEing themselves and they're not in WWE. But it's starting to turn around, though. They're actually making the Young Bucks and Kenny and all them actually more relevant. But yeah.
Honestly, I think that was them trying to go, listen, we started the company. We don't want to have all the belts and all of that. So I think it's a tough thing to run a company that you still wrestle in and not push yourself over.
Can't make it easy.
Anyways, Jim, our punishment for this is...
We're going one of the big storylines with this was in order for Cody to have his match against MJF, he had to take 10 lashes with a belt on TV.
So that's what we're doing. No.
Not with a belt.
Absolutely
not with a belt. I say the number of points you lose by, you take the lashes, but with a Slim Jim beef stick.
I say we do that times something, because you might only lose by one.
Yeah. Times 3.
Times 3. I'm okay with that.
If you lose by 4, then you take 12
lashes. Don't suck.
From first place or second place?
From first place.
Okay.
The most that you're from.
So I lost by 3.
So the most you're going to be able to take is 18. If you go 0-6 and the otother guy goes 6-0, which I guarantee won't happen because we're copying him for most of the show. So there you go. Number of points you lose to first place times 3, and that is the number of times you get lashed by a Slim Jim. We're professional.
We're
and
grown-ups.
adults. It's great. All right, let's start this off with Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. Jim, who do you have and why? Help us out here.
I'm going to give it to Darby Allin just for the simple fact I think he's the fan favorite at the moment. Anytime he comes out into that arena, anywhere they're at, he gets a huge pop. On Dynamite this last week, the lights cut out and he came up and just tore the house down. Anytime he does anything with a skateboard is pretty damn killer too. So I think that's adds a whole new aspect to the wrestling, which is cool. I'm going Darby.
Actually, that's where I was going to go to, not just to copy you, but Sammy Guevara I've liked him in the inner circle. I think he's a good fit for that. He's like the young up and comer of that group, which I think fits really well. There could be a lot of shenanigans in that aspect too, but Darby Allin was that guy that they were really pushing early on in the AEW timeline with getting the title match against Jericho and stuff. So I think they continue pushing him here. So I'll take Darby as well.
Yeah, I'm doing Darby Allin as well. He's one of the guys that I've liked from the start and was excited to see more of, and glad the crowd took to him. Like, he wasn't the hugest indie star. He was out there pretty good, like PWG and things like that. People were taken to him, and just how crazy he is.
So he was the guy that would do anything almost.
Yeah. His coffin drop is crazy to see, even if it's in the ring. It's just that he can trust fall onto somebody pretty much,
or the apron of the ring.
Yeah,
that's horrendous to see.
Yeah,
didn't he do it on the stairs one week too?
I want to even the Cracker Barrel. He had that on.
All right, yeah. So we all pick the same there. Let's move on to Goldust versus Jack Swagger. No, sorry, Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager. Hager's first match.
Yep.
Right? I like that Jake continues to show zero character or charisma, which is what he did in WWE, but now that's his character.
Yeah.
So it fits better. Who do you got?
I think I'm going to take Hager. It's his first match. I think they want to give him a strong showing. Dustin's going to have no problem putting him over. But I think that's going to be his time to shine. He's slowly been doing bits and pieces here and there. It's just kind of the muscle for the Inner Circle. So I think it's going to be good to see him just kind of put himself out there a little bit more. It would be nice to see some sort of emotion or some sort of interaction with Dustin, how Dustin just can do his thing. Like, my favorite thing Dustin does now is he'll do, if it's in a multi-man match, he'll do 2 power slams. Third one will come up, he'll call timeout, and he'll kind of catch his breath, and then he goes, okay, come on. And then he hits a 3rd power slam. So I'm waiting to see that play out, if that does, or how Hager, deters that.
Yeah. I'm taking Hager as well. I think Dustin is at this point a put over talent, which I think he does really well. He's very talented in the ring, but I think he's there in AEW to make other people shine, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do with Hager. So I take Hager as well.
Yeah, I think we're going to be all picking the same until the 2 main events, but Hager as well. It's just pretty much what Randy said. Dustin's there to get people over, and he has nothing. He's 50 at least, got to be. So it's not like he's jonesing to be world champ or anything. He's done his time in wrestling, so he's just enjoying what he's doing now.
Yeah. All right. AEW Women's Championship: Nyla Rose versus Riho. What do you got?
Well, Nyla just won the belt, so I don't think they're going to strip that away from her just yet. I think Riho, for being 95 pounds, puts on a hell of a match against anybody she's in the ring with, especially Nyla. They make it believable for some god-awful reason. And, but I think just them giving it to Nyla right now, they're going to let her keep running it for a little bit more. I think there's going to be a surprise somewhere in there. Somebody's going to come out. I wouldn't be surprised if Kong comes out to interrupt in the match, but I still think Nyla goes over.
Yeah, I think this is could be the schmozz match. I'm going to go Nyla Rose also, but I think something's going to happen. Like the rematch, like the title change on TV and then the rematch on pay-per-view, I think something big's going to happen. Maybe a big debut, even that no one's seen yet, but everyone knows who it is, or something like that along those lines.
This is why it gives me pause, is because, like you said, they just did the title change on TV. It'll be 2 weeks before the pay-per-view, and now you have the rematch. So why not wait for the pay-per-view to do it? Is it too? I mean, WWE does this all the time.
Yeah.
Where one person will win the title a week before the pay-per-view just for the other person to win it back at the pay-per-view. I don't see AEW doing that, so I'm going to take Rose as well. I'm hesitant because you never know, but I'm with you. There's a reason why they did the title change beforehand, and it wasn't just for ratings.
But I like that they're more apt to change the titles on TV.
Yeah.
Because there were so many times back in the day you never saw that. And you never saw a title change happen at house shows, and that's even happening more often nowadays. Like the Finn Balor and Joe, when Joe beat him for the belt in a house show.
Yeah. As long as you don't do it too over the top, but you still do it, I think it works really well. Let's go to Tag Team Championship match, because I'm curious about this one. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks. Jim, who do you got?
Okay, so this has been an awesome storyline to watch. Omega and Hangman came together, part of the Elite. They kind of teamed up. And when they won the belts on the Jericho Cruise, Hangman had been going through a drinking phase, which has been his big gimmick lately.
So he's Hawk.
Basically, yeah. Okay. But he makes it work.
I'm old.
He keeps wrestling while he's drinking. So it's a stone cold Sandman kind of vibe.
I'm done.
You love your ECW.
We'll get to that.
And I think this is going to be the match where the Bucks win, but it's because of a Hangman turn, or a Hangman steps off the apron to have a few beers and drinks, and screws up the match somehow or something along those lines. I think the Bucks win, though, for one reason or another. I think this is where they have the Hangman turn on Kenny, and they set up a feud for those guys.
God, I want to pick different at some point, so I'm going to. I think that they've been doing that and trying to set it up so much that everyone is going to be seeing it coming. So I think they hold off on it a little bit longer. I'll take Omega and Page to retain, and maybe a turn after. But I think they're gonna want to like try to swerve the audience just a little bit.
Okay.
Because I think even as somebody that doesn't watch AEW every week, I know this is coming. I mean, they've teased it a lot.
Yeah.
So
and that's where I'm at too, because sometimes obvious is good, and like when Roman defended the title in the Royal Rumble, everyone's like, "Oh, Triple H is going to be number 30, and he's going to win." And Triple H was number 30, and he won, but everyone loved it.
And it worked,
and it was awesome. And so this was the one I've been torn on a bunch, but I think I'm going to go with the Young Bucks on it also. I think.
And now I am scared for the lashings.
Yeah, I think the Bucks might win, and then the split will happen. Like it'll be like one of those inadvertent things, like Omega and Page are getting along great, and then it'll just be one of those subtle. Did he hit me on purpose?
I will say, NXT just did this in Portland, which helped me stay 6-0. I'm going to continue to tout that. But everyone is expecting Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle to split. They figured that tag team was built to then create a feud, and everyone thought it was going to happen at TakeOver. And then Riddle knees Dunne on accident and gets thrown out of the ring, and it looks like Undisputed Era is going to get the 1, 2, 3, and they kicked out. And I swear, as somebody that was there, everyone in that building thought that was it. It's like, okay, here comes the split of the tag team. We all saw it coming. So I'm hoping that's what happens here, where something like that happens. Page hits Omega on accident, gets thrown out. Omega's able to kick out, or opposite, whichever way it goes. But everyone's like, oh, here comes the split. This is the moment.
Yeah.
And they're able to survive just a little bit longer.
Well, the match they just had this last week against the Lucha Bros, they held it together pretty well. So if there was any doubt, it would have been from the week before when they faced the Young Bucks, or when it was a 4-man tag or 8-man tag match. And so that's where I think that you could be right. They could hold on a little bit longer, but I still think I would like to see the Bucks take it. I think they've been trying to, and they could be setting up for a Bucks Lucha Bros rematch for the Double or Nothing with the belts.
Honestly, it makes sense for the Bucks to get the title because you don't need Omega and Page in the tag team division. The one thing AEW does fantastic is tag teams.
Yeah, they have more tag teams, I think, in that company than singles wrestlers.
Yeah, so you don't need 2 singles wrestlers teaming up like that. So eventually they'll split, but I'll take the risk and have them retain here. Let's go for the best storyline in wrestling right now. That's Cody Rhodes and MJF. Just the build-up for this has been fantastic. The lashing segment is so uncomfortable, but so good at the same time. It was I couldn't take my eyes away, but I didn't want to watch it anymore. MJF is such a fantastic heel, and that is why I am taking MJF to piss everybody off. I think they are going to push him to the moon, and it starts here and when he beats Cody.
I'm going to agree with you. I think MJF right now is what Jericho was in the Attitude Era when he was pissing off Benoit and Guerrero and Stephanie and Triple H and everything like that. I think his mic skills, to an extent, outweigh Jericho's, but it's because he's been.
I don't know.
Well, I would say it's because he's given more free range with what he can say, and I think that's with the times. I think back then Jericho. I mean, the language barrier has changed with the ratings and everything like that. Because now you can say shit. You can, at random points.
Not here. No, you can't.
Shoot, farts. Whatever. Farts is how we're replacing them. My bad. And then, even a little bit further. It's been pretty brutal to watch him and hear some of the things he says on TV. But it's still fantastic. I'm taking MJF as well.
Yeah, I think same as everyone else, though, too.
God damn it. That's why I picked first.
Yep, because... MJF even lives his character. Even just seeing him on Twitter, he's hysterical. And people, I remember just one dumb video. He's signing an autograph. He's like, "Did you do the $20 package or the 40?" He's like, "I did the 20." He's like, "Well, you only get half my face in the picture then." They're calling him cheap, but yeah, I just think.
Don't make this come down to the tag team match, guys. Somebody pick different here. All right, let's go to the main event, the AEW Championship. Chris Jericho versus Jon Moxley, the one-eyed man. Dude, who do you got and why?
I'm gonna go with Jericho. I think they're gonna keep the inner circle strong for a bit still. I think Guevara's gonna be the only loss, and I think this feud still has legs. They're not WWE where it's got to be a month cycle, and that's one of the things I'm enjoying about this because they'll do things like Jericho defends the title, and they still have that aura of could he lose it because Moxley really wants Jericho and things like that. So I still think Jericho's going to keep it. I didn't want to say it, but I think it's going to happen. I think the eye injury is going to come into play still somehow and keep the. I think he likes wearing the patch. It's just badass for his character. So
very Snake Plissken. This is one I'm kind of torn on. Because on one hand, Jericho has been Le Champion. He's been holding that belt fantastically. He can do no wrong in the ring when it comes to being him at this point.
Still the youngest champ too.
Yep.
Love that line.
Moxley is definitely the crowd favorite though, and everybody wants to see Moxley get the belt at this point. He gets almost a bigger pop than Jericho. However, Jericho does get the crowd sing along, so I will give it to Jericho just for the sing along.
I think he can still sing along losing. So here is my thought process. I agree with Doof that I don't think this feud ends. But I believe MJF is the next top star in AEW, and he's not going to go after Jericho for it. So my belief is Moxley beats Jericho for the title, or by nefarious means, and he doesn't get the title. But I think Moxley wins. But I think this feud will continue with I believe Jericho chasing for at least another pay-per-view, trying to get it back. Seeing Jericho throw a fit, I think would be fantastic for his character. As obviously, I think MJF and Cody are going to go for a bit longer after this pay-per-view as well. But at the end of it, Moxley comes out on top of his feud, MJF comes out on top of his feud, and then MJF becomes the rightful number one contender, and we get Moxley and MJF for a while, and I think that'll be fantastic. Also, since you guys wanted to pick exactly the same, I better pick a second one that's different, so I only need one to be right to end up in a tie, because I don't want to come down to a tag team match. So, there's a good chance that we end up in a tie in this. There's also a very good chance that we're going to have to come up with a different stipulation for the lashings, because if we end up in a tie, we'll figure it out. Lashings are going to happen, damn it. We need a tiebreaker.
Slim Jims will be broken.
The length
at least 3.
The length of the title match will be... Doof?
Let's see here.
You won the tiebreaker, by the way, for NXT.
Yeah,
it worked out really well.
I think with everyone complaining about the NXT main events always going long, I don't think they're going to do that. I think it'll be Cody and MJF getting all the length. And so I think 22-22.
22-22 for Doof. I'm going to go higher than that. I'm going to say 26-40.
Give me 24-20.
Oh.
We'll split the difference.
Go long, Jericho and Moxley. Go long. That's all I have to say. All right. So we'll come up with a different stipulation for how many lashes of the Slim Jim it'll take, because obviously it's going to come down to a couple picks. There's a chance that I'm 2 picks down, or they're both 2 picks down. Who knows? But they're tying no matter what. So there you go. Tomorrow will be another normal edition of the Workshoot Alliance. I believe it is WWE original programming this week, as 6 years now for the network.
I think so.
Somewhere in there. So we celebrate that. Again, if you missed our man over here eating the wonderful pickle and pickle relish and hot sauce and sprinkles and whipped cream chocolate donut.
Yeah.
Check that out on our channel. Of course, like, comment, subscribe, do the other YouTube stuff. It helps us out immensely. We appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow for another episode.
Adios.